Hi there, Nikki Butler here, skin and scar specialist. Now, June is Acne Awareness Month, and this is something I'm contacted a lot about, and predominantly by women that are 35 years and over. And I think we kind of expect to not be dealing with acne when we get into our kind of mid-30s onwards, but it's really common. And the reasons for that can be many, but the most common reasons are stress, hormonal imbalances, and food intolerances. So there are lots of things that you can do to start to find what's happening and what's triggering your acne breakouts. And that's really important because if you're just focusing on skincare, then we're not addressing the root cause of the problem. So if we're not addressing the hormonal imbalance, or we're not looking at food intolerances, or the fact you're not sleeping, or you're really stressed, then actually treatments and skincare are going to give you a very limited result. And I find that many people that come to me have often spent a lot of money on acne treatments, but nobody's ever asked them about their hormones or their diet or their lifestyle. So that's where we always start. So what I'll do is I'll pop a link under the video with a skin diary that I give to my clients. It sounds really boring, but it's really powerful. And it's a 12-week diary that you keep a track of your skin, your nutrition, and your lifestyle. So looking for things like foods that you're eating and patterns, because often we think about the foods that we've eaten the day before, and then we think about, oh, I had that chocolate, or I had that pizza, and now I've got spots. But essentially that could be something that is coming up 5-7 days later, particularly if it's a food intolerance, because that's causing inflammation in the body, and that inflammation will eventually show up on your skin, but not necessarily straight away. Similarly with something like stress is a really big factor with breakout prone skin. So if you're stressed, you have high cortisol levels, and when you have high cortisol levels, essentially that's your body thinking that you're in danger, and it prioritizes keeping you safe. So what it doesn't prioritise is your hair, skin, nails and digestion, and it actually throws other hormonal balances out. So it's important to try to reduce stress. With regard to sleep, that's the time that your body's repairing, regenerating, balancing your hormones, flushing out toxins and fluids. So if you're not sleeping, and ideally around 7 to 9 hours a night, then your body's not getting the opportunity to rebalance and repair and regenerate. And that causes more inflammation, which can make breakouts even worse. And if we look at food, if you have a food intolerance, it essentially causes inflammation internally. And as I just mentioned, several days after you've eaten a triggering food, you can start to see breakouts, you might have hives, or even something as simple as more sensitive skin. So by keeping that diary over a period of 12 weeks, you can start to look for patterns to identify what's happening. Now, a really big one with my clients is hormonal imbalances. And we go through hormonal changes all of the time through a monthly cycle. If you're taking any medication, so contraceptive pills, or if you're in perimenopause or menopause and your hormones are really out of balance, then that is going to make a difference to your skin. Equally, if you aren't sleeping, your hormones aren't rebalancing. If you're stressed, your cortisol levels are knocking out the balance of your sex hormones. So, and those are things that for women that on a monthly cycle or through perimenopause and menopause can really throw our skin into a spin. So looking at what is triggering your breakouts and addressing the root cause is super important. So if it's stress, it's about reducing stress. If it's nutrition, it's about avoiding the foods that are triggering, and also eating foods that are anti-inflammatory and are healing and good for your skin. Getting more sleep can help, and addressing the hormone imbalances. So some of my clients have done really simple things, like they've changed the brand of their contraceptive pill. That's made a massive difference. For some clients, it's been about balancing hormones through perimenopause and menopause, and that's either been done with HRT or through more natural methods of balancing hormones. There's lots of incredible holistic advice out there and supplements. That's not my area of expertise, but I can absolutely point you in the direction of specialist hormone GPs, and also an amazing Ayurvedic doctor, so whichever your kind of preference is. And I just want to touch on skincare. So when people contact me about acne or breakout prone skin, out of desperation to get their skin under control, they tend to be using really harsh products, so adding more because the product that they're not using, that they're using isn't getting them the result that they want. And often what's happening is they're layering on really harsh products, so exfoliators, acids, very strong retinols, and they're actually damaging the natural barrier function of the skin. So they're weakening the skin, which is allowing more bacteria to enter the skin, causing more irritation, makes you more sensitive to reactions to products, to damage from UV rays, and the skin is often really dry. And some people can be confused and think that their skin is dry, but then it breaks out as being oily. And often what that is the skin is dry, and where the natural barrier function is quite severely damaged, the natural moisturizing factors that you have within your skin is escaping. So what you're seeing on the skin that you think is oil can often just be your own natural moisturizing factors that are sitting in certain places. So when I'm working with clients on skincare, we strip it right back, and I usually start with sensitive products that are aimed at calming, repairing and strengthening the skin. That makes a huge difference, and it's actually quite unusual unless you're somebody that has really severe acne. And if that is the case, I'd actually recommend you speak with your GP or a dermatologist. But if you have, moderate breakouts that are perhaps happening intermittently, stripping your skincare back to being sensitive and protecting and strengthening it, and focusing on the other elements that I've just talked about, is often all that's needed. So I very rarely treat clients for acne with clinical treatments, and that approach has had such a big impact on so many people that I've worked with. So it's that focusing from the inside out and the outside in, looking for the triggers, looking for the root cause of what is causing the acne or outbreaks, and addressing that. I really hope that helps, because I do appreciate that it can be really distressing if you're dealing with acne breakouts. And in my 20s, when I was really stressed, I suffered with adult acne. It was more so on my back and neck than anything else, but I was really traumatized by it. And it's because I was stressed, I wasn't sleeping, my food intake wasn't great, I wasn't eating to kind of optimize my well-being. So I think that just relaxing, knowing that there's things that you can do about it, and less is often more. I'm going to pop some links below the video. If you do need any guidance, then by all means reach out to me. You can contact me on the socials, or you can email me, which is nikki@nikkibutler.co.uk. And I'll pop a link to my blog. There are loads and loads of blogs about looking after your skin. And you can also download my ultimate skin guide, which I think you'll find really helpful. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will speak to you soon.